Git is the most popular version control system out there. Version control means that you can track the changes you make to a document and access each version of it. Let's look at a scenario to clarify this. You've written a letter to your boss and stored the document in a folder. By converting this folder into a Git repository, you can now work on the letter, add text to it, and if you don't like the changes you made, you can go back to an older version of it. This system is immensely popular in the tech world because screwing up code is a common problem for programmers. It is often used in combination with GitHub, which is a platform where you can share code and it helps people collaborate on projects without having conflicts arising from two people working on the same document. Let me explain how this collaboration process works. Imagine you and your friend Adam went out to your local bar and had a conversation after one too many beers, and you decided you want to create the next Instagram only specialized for cat photos. You wake up the next morning still thinking this cat Instagram thing is a great idea, and despite having a massive hangover, you start working on the basic structure of the project, and now you want to send it over to Adam so that he can work on it too and implement some of his ideas. He downloads the folder, changes some code, and uploads it back. But what if Adam makes a change to a file, and you make a change to the same file, and you both upload it to GitHub? You might think that this would end up in a disaster, but luckily we have something called branches. If you want to add a feature to the project, you can create a new branch that diverges from the main project, write the code on this branch, upload the changes, ask your teammates to review it, and ultimately integrate the changes into the main branch, aka the project itself. Here's how each step would look like. First, you turn your project repository into a Git repository. cd into the folder and type Git in it. Then you go to github.com. If you have no account yet, then create one, and then click on New next to Repositories. Give your repository a name, scroll down and click on Create Repository. Copy the URL and go back to the terminal. Now you will have to connect your local repository with the remote GitHub repository you just created. Do this by typing git remote add origin followed by the URL. Next, you can upload your files by committing and pushing them. First, type git status to see all files you haven't uploaded or tracked yet. Those are the files you had in the folder before. Type git add followed by a dot, which means add all files. Now you have to commit them, which means preparing or staging the files to upload them to GitHub. Type git commit -m followed by a message which helps you and others identify this particular commit easier. Next, type git push to upload to GitHub, and it will tell you that you'll have to set an upstream branch and simply copy this statement. You'll only have to do this step with your first commit. After you've done this once, you can use the git push command without the upstream. Now you can send a link to the GitHub repository over to Adam. He copies the URL, goes into the terminal and types git clone followed by the URL into his terminal. Et voila, you two can now work on the same project. Adam now wants to add a new feature to the project, so he creates a new branch like this: git checkout -b and the name of the feature. That will automatically take him into the new branch and he can implement his button into the code. When he's done writing the code, he saves it and wants to upload it back to GitHub for you to see the new feature. To do that, he has to commit the changes you made and upload it to GitHub, like we did before. Adam can now create a pull request, which is a request to merge his feature into the project. He can ask you to review the code and approve it or request to change it. If you approve, he can now merge the branch into the main branch, which means that he has merged his feature into the project and you both can sit back and watch the millions fly into your bank account. It might be a little confusing at first, but after committing and creating pull requests a few times, you will become more confident with it and never want to miss it again. It's a great way to share your code, and you know, sharing is caring.